They want you to watch the diplomats argue. They want you to count the votes. They want you to debate whether Somaliland deserves recognition or whether Somalia's borders are sacred. But while you are watching the theatre at the United Nations, they are redrawing the map of the Red Sea. The question is not whether Somaliland will be recognised. The question is who controls the choke point between two oceans. Israel did not suddenly discover Somaliland's democratic credentials. They discovered its coastline. They discovered Berbera. They discovered that whoever controls that port controls access to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, where 12% of global trade passes every single day. This was never about self-determination. This is about power projection. And if you do not understand that, you have already lost the argument before it began. Let us go back. In 1960, British Somaliland gained independence on June 26th. For 5 days, it was a sovereign nation, recognized by 35 countries. Then it voluntarily united with Italian Somalia to form the Somali Republic. This was not conquest. This was pan-Somali idealism, the dream of a greater Somalia that would unite all Somali people under one flag. But dreams have a way of becoming nightmares. The Siad Barre regime turned that unity into oppression. The northwestern region suffered massacres in the 1980s.
One problem facing the government of the breakaway Republic of Somaliland. Hargeisa was destroyed by the civil war. There's no electricity, telephones, or water supply. The U.S. is financing major repairs on the water pumping stations.
They want to make sure that when the people do return, that at least there's an adequate supply of water to cater for them.
The people who will return are nearly 500,000 Somali refugees in Ethiopia. Relief agencies are encouraging those refugees to come back. But the Somaliland government worries about how to feed them when there is already widespread malnutrition here. In spite of their problems, the people of Somaliland say they have peace and stability here, unlike the ethnic turmoil south of their border in Somalia.
You see, the whole people, they support the Somaliland government because you see all the people, they are very happy, glad.
Somaliland will be Somaliland.
Hargeisa was bombed. Tens of thousands died. This is the wound that Israel now claims to heal with recognition. But here is what they do not tell you. The same colonial powers who drew these borders, who divided the Somali people between Britain, Italy, France, and Ethiopia, are now the ones deciding which borders are legitimate and which can be erased. Britain created Somaliland. Britain merged it. And now Britain sits on the Security Council pretending to be neutral. The history they invoke is the history they wrote. The suffering they cite is the suffering their systems created. This is not justice being served. This is the colonizer returning to redivide what they once divided. Now follow the money. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. Every year, over $1 trillion in goods passes through this choke point. 12% of global trade, 20% of the world's oil. This is not geography. This is strategy. Israel has been seeking access to the Red Sea for decades. They have a port in Eilat, but it is small, isolated, and vulnerable. The Suez Canal is controlled by Egypt. The Houthis in Yemen have shown they can disrupt Red Sea shipping at will. But Berbera? Berbera is on the southern side. Berbera is defensible. Berbera is available. The United Arab Emirates already built a military base there. They invested over $400 million in upgrading the port. Now Israel wants in, not for Somaliland's sake, but for their own strategic depth. Consider what this means for Somalia. If Somaliland is recognized, Somalia loses over 700 kilometers of coastline. They lose access to the Gulf of Aden. They become a landlocked nation in all but name, dependent on neighbors who have their own interests. The fishing rights alone are worth billions. The oil exploration potential is immense. This is not diplomacy. This is extraction dressed in the language of human rights. But here is what disturbs me most. Watch the reaction of Somalis to this crisis. Some are outraged at Israel. Some are outraged at their own government. Some are secretly pleased that Somaliland might finally get what they want.
And Mogadishu residents agree.
This is something regrettable, that today Somali people and Somali territory are taking recognition from Israelis.
For Somaliland to be recognized is a great boon to us, and we do not accept it and will not accept it. Somalia belongs to itself. There is no such thing as something called Somaliland.
This signifies that the conflict in the Middle East is now being imported into Somalia and the Horn of Africa, and this is something we cannot tolerate.
This is the colonial mindset at work. They taught you to see yourself as Northerner or Southerner, as Isaac or Darud or Hawiye, as Puntland or Jubaland or Somaliland. They taught you to see your brother as your competitor and the foreigner as your savior. Ambassador Ballet stood in the Security Council and spoke of one country, one religion, one people. But his own government has spent years empowering regional states, fragmenting federal authority, playing clans against each other. You cannot claim unity while practicing division. And Israel invoked massacres committed 40 years ago to justify intervention today.
השתוללו בטנטור היה משהו נורא. טנטור היה כפר עשיר, בתים יפים, גרים כמו אירופאים, אתה יודע, וגם אנשים היו לבושות ויפה, ובאמת היה כפר אחד אנס שם איזה ילדה בת 16, משהו כזה, אתה מבין? אבל זה מכוער מאוד, היה לנו בחור אחד, הוא נפטר, הוא היה פרא אדם, הוא לקח פשוט מאוד, ורצח אותם בתוך המכלאות. בתוך המכלאות, הם היו במכלאות, אתה יודע, חוטי ברזל כאלה, עגולים כאלה, אספו כל הגברים. הם יושבים שם, כל העם, על הרצפה, ובא מישהו, ולוקח תת מקלע, ומתחיל זה, מחליף מחסנית, מה אתה חושב זה? אבל אנחנו לא היינו כאלה. הוא היה יוצא דופן, הבחור הזה, כן, מה שהוא עשה. והשתיקו את הדבר הזה, והיו חבר'ה שלקחו את הלוויורים, ורדפו אחרי חבר'ה ושרפו אותם. זה היה משהו זוועתי, וזה אסור לספר, אני לא אדבר על זה, כי זה יכול להיות סקנדל שלם מהעניין הזה. אני לא רוצה לדבר על זה, וזהו.
3-4 חודשים הראשונים.
But who is Israel to lecture anyone about massacres? Gaza is burning as we speak. Hospitals are being bombed. Children are being starved. Yet they stand in the United Nations and speak of suffering in Somaliland? This is not hypocrisy. This is strategy. They know that a divided Africa is a controllable Africa. They know that Africans fighting Africans means Africans not fighting them. The outrage you feel right now, they are counting on it. They want you angry. They want you reactive. Because while you are reacting, they are acting. So what is the path forward? Somalia takes the Security Council presidency next week. They will have the power to set the agenda, to call votes, to shape the narrative. But procedural power is not real power. Real power is economic independence.